Anyone can have a business idea, but the difference will be those who are willing to do something about it rather than just letting it fade in the shower. Taking action towards something is just the first step, but keeping working on it for months or for years is actually the most difficult part. It's easy to stay motivated when things go well, but how to avoid derailing yourself too much on bad days? I've been coding and building my startup, a location-based language exchange app, for the past 5 years while having a corporate job as a solo founder. It took me 4 years to be able to quit my job and work on it full-time now. In today's video, I share with you some of my personal experience and some actionable tips to stay motivated as a solo founder while building your own project. So the first tip is to take a lot of screenshots or some trace of your journey, like short recording of your project or photos or even yourself working on the project. For 5 years, I've watched my app grow both in terms of the user base, but also how the design evolved over time, or even how my website ranks better and better on Google search and on the App Store. Taking screenshots along the way is one of the best ways to track your progress because it allows you to reflect when looking back and see how far you came. Seeing your project grow little by little can give you a motivation boost during hard times or when you're losing motivation. In the case of building an app, once you made an update on the design, the old design will be gone like forever, so it cannot be restored back, so better keep an archive of that. Taking screenshots can also help you use them as visual when creating content. And people actually like to see the before and after of the product they like, and it also adds kind of like a touch of authenticity. Even though you think you're building something small, but nobody knows. Maybe in the future your app turns to be something huge, and then you can start to sell those screenshots as NFT. Screenshots can also be crucial for visual support when telling a story, for example in a slide deck or in a video. I also use some of my old screenshots in my videos, and like they said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So the second tip is to always leave some unfinished tasks by the end of the day for the next day, and if possible, tasks that are easy to handle or to tackle. This might sound counterintuitive, but there's something called the Zeigarnik effect, which says that human brain remembers unfinished tasks better than the finished one. Trying to finish something when your brain is already completely tired is counterproductive. In the case of software, for example, even though you cannot fix a bug by midnight, it's just better to sleep on the issue for a night or so that you might come with a better solution the next day when your brain is fresh and recharged. For example, when you're writing blog articles, it's better to finish the day with a draft finish and call it a day rather than trying to finish both the draft and the final version, because it's easier to edit a version of a draft rather than starting from a blank page. The blank page fear that most writers fear are real, so it's easier to start a day having already something to work on, which is your draft waiting for you just to dive in. Is much easier to kind of like feel motivated to start working, but also to get it done. When coding, again, for example, it's better to finish your day with writing a working class or component and then just wait for the next day to refactor it, because it's just much easier to already find the logic and later on just put that into proper modules and to get it into small details on the next day. This can help to jump to the next more challenging task ahead of you, because you get rewarded from finishing those previous tasks, and it kind of like build momentum to keep you motivated. The momentum is created, the ball starts rolling, and by then you're already in the flow state. This is much easier than starting your day with a difficult and challenging task where you need to bring your entire brain and your willpower, because basically this little technique, kind of hack, will make you start your day with less fear and more control. The next tip is to share and talk about your project or your work with your friends or user or your viewers. Not only it helps to externalize that from your brain, but sometimes your friends can give you really good feedback, and sometimes harsh feedback is actually the best because they can point you to the right direction on things to improve. I talk quite a lot about my personal project to my friends, and at first I thought it might be a little bit overwhelming. It seems like some of your friends actually appreciate that because they can learn something new and it can inspire them to pursue their own dream, and your story can be a positive trigger. So talk to your users if you're building an app, talk to your viewers if you make videos, and talk to your readers if you write blogs. Even as a user, a viewer, or reader, People actually like to feel involved in something they are part of. If I'm using a piece of software I really like, I actually like to participate in survey to help improve the product. It also helps build trust, credibility, and authority. Knowing that people actually care about what you're doing or building is actually one of the biggest motivation factor that keeps me build my app for years. As a solo founder, it can be easy to be bogged down in the day-to-day tasks to run your business. And one way to combat that and stay motivated is to explore new projects that can be served as playground to learn new skills or technologies. This can help you stay excited and engaged in your work while also giving you the opportunity to expand your knowledge and capabilities. However, it's still important to keep your main project in mind while you're exploring these new ventures, because these side projects should be used to complement and enhance your main project and not distract from it. For example, if you're working on a website for your business or your app, you might explore new web design techniques or technologies through a personal project. And this skill can be then applied to your main project, making it much stronger and more effective. During my days building Sevayu, my startup, at some points I get unmotivated because the user growth wasn't there yet, too many annoying bugs to fix, and operation stuff to deal on a daily basis. So I started a new pet project called Kotoha, which is a multilingual collaborative dictionary online where people can submit useful slang expressions and others can just translate them into their native language. I ended up shutting the project down after a few weeks or months, but by building that project free of any existing obligation like infrastructure-wise, production data to be careful about, and so on, I just could have the opportunity to explore and have hands-on on new technology, like trying out a new database, but also a new CSS framework, testing serverless framework, and so on. So exploring new projects can be a great way to stay motivated and excited and learn new things as a solo founder, but it's still important to keep your main project as the focus. Like they say, keep the main thing the main thing. So the next tip is to celebrate the small wins and milestones, because it can be easy to focus just on the big long-term goals for your business and just overlook those small milestones and wins along the way. However, celebrating those small successes is an important part of staying motivated and engaged in your work. When you reach a small milestone such as getting your first 100 users or 100 app reviews on the App Store, releasing a new major feature, or fixing a bug that's been there for months, or increasing and hitting a certain number of followers on social media, just take a moment to acknowledge that and celebrate the achievement. This will not only give you a sense of accomplishment, but also it will help you stay engaged and motivated as you continue to work toward your larger goals. You don't have to throw a big party. You can just celebrate in small ways, simple things like just treating yourself to a nice meal or taking a day off to do something you enjoy. You can also share your milestone with your friends, your family members, or just your users or customers. Share it on social media, but also send an email to your subscribers to let them know that you're excited and proud of your progress. It's also important to note that those small milestones and wins can also build momentum, because that will actually keep you motivated and focused. These little wins will give you the energy but also encouragement you need to keep going, and they will help you to see progress even though when the road seems long and difficult. It's really tempting to just move on quickly to the next bigger goal, but you'll end up burnt out and you might feel like you haven't achieved anything. So remember that building a startup is a long game, and the mental to withstand the day-to-day challenges are as important as your ability to execute those tasks. So the next tip is to keep some hobbies. And one way to stay sane and maintain a healthy work-life balance is to have a hobby and commit it as hard as you commit to your startup. Wait, what? Work-life balance? Actually, there's no such thing as work-life balance when building a startup, and even more so if you're a solo founder. However, if possible, try to keep some hobbies, especially those that can help clear and relax your mind. I used to play guitar and piano a bit, but those hobbies are really demanding and consume a lot of my brain, because like Learning a new song requires a lot of dedication, and over time it becomes just harder and harder to keep committed to those hobbies. So instead, I often play soccer with friends and going to Japanese hot springs or taking long walks and ride bicycle to combine both the joy of exercising but also clearing my mind. Having those lightweight hobbies is a great way to take a break from the stress and pressure from running your business and do something you enjoy. And yeah, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it can help you relax and unwind. If you aim for the perfect 50-50 work-life balance, you're not playing the game of startup. Sacrifices will be made along the way, so try to commit to those hobbies as hard as you commit to your startup. This means deliberately making time for it. Like they said, a healthy body and a healthy mind go hand in hand. When you take care of one, you take care of the other. So the next tip is do not dwell on analytics too much, because analytics is a double-edged sword. It can either give you a motivation boost or just drag you down for the day. While it's important to track your progress and measure the success of your business, it's also important not to dwell on analytics too much. Constantly checking your analytics can lead to becoming too fixated with short-term metrics, which can cause anxiety, stress, pressure, and distract you from focusing on the bigger picture and your long-term goals. For example, there will be days where I receive a 1-star app review for my app twice in the same day, and it does make you feel bad, but take that as an opportunity to hear out your users and improve on things that can be improved to help them. Or when the daily or weekly active users graph isn't growing to the right side as you want it to be, just take the time to look for things to improve in order to make it grow. Then challenges and questions will pop up, such as why your app doesn't retain your users. Is there any issue related to some part of your app like notification or email reminders? Or do your users actually quickly get value from your app right on the first install, and so on? Instead of constantly checking your analytics, just set a schedule to do it, like maybe once a week or so. This will give you a better perspective on your progress and help you avoid getting caught up in just, short-term fluctuation. Additionally, it's important to focus on the right metrics, the ones that truly matter for your business and align with your business goals. Vanity metrics such as website traffic, number of app downloads, social media followers may look impressive on the paper, but don't necessarily provide insight into the health and success of your business. Instead, focus on metrics that truly matter for your business and track them down and make data-informed decisions. Also remember that analytics should be used as a tool to inform your decision making, but not as the only source of information. There are other things and factors such as user feedback and also observation from the market that also should be taken into account. So that's it. I hope some lesson I've learned over time building my startup can help you survive as a solo startup founder, but also as a solo entrepreneur. At the end of the day, just remember that you're not taking action because you feel motivated, but the other way around. So you feel motivated because you're taking action, building momentum, so building things, and work on hard things that will push your business forward. Taking actions and execute on your plan is the best way to stay motivated for the long run. So if you want to support me and help serve your community to grow, feel free to try out the app, spread the word to your friends. It will mean the world. If you like the video and want to follow my journey as a foreign solo startup founder in Japan, please subscribe to the channel for similar content. Write and leave a comment if you have any question. Also follow me on Twitter to follow my journey in real time and for bite-sized stories. See you in the next one. Bye.